Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan video. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the Peerless superpower Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. He is obviously, I would say, hopefully going to get his Easy A at the 10th anniversary. I haven't done a review of him on this channel, so I thought, you know what, I might as well do one because why not? Peerless superpower Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta is a giant ape category lead of Ki plus 3, HP attack and defense of 170%. Or a Shadow Dragon Saga lead of 150% and 3 Ki. He greatly raises attack and defense for 1 turn on the super. He has attack and defense of 200% with Ki plus 4 plus an additional attack and defense of 40% and attacks effective against all types for 8 turns from the character's entry turn. He has a high chance of attacks being effective against all types starting from the 9th turn and a high chance of nullifying the enemy's super attack and countering with tremendous power. He has an active skill that can be activated after being hit 4 or more times in battle, and this will give him 40% attack and defense and all enemies minus 40% attack and defense during the course of that turn. In terms of his links, he has Super Saiyan, Kamehameha, Shocking Speed, Arena Flash, GT, Fuse Fighter, and Fierce Battle. And he's got Accelerated Battle, Battle of Fate, Final Trump Card, Fuse Fighters, Fusion, GT Heroes, Giant Ape Power, Kamehameha, Power Beyond Super Saiyan, Shadow Dragon Saga, and Time Limit as his categories. Overall, I think he was really good when he came out. I think a lot of players will agree with that. He was definitely a top of the rung style unit at the time. But nowadays, obviously, his power has dropped. Very heavily stat reliant character. A lot of his passive is simply having 200% attack and defense. It's literally as simple as that. He is a really fun character though, and I do really like what they help him to bring to the table as a unit. I really think his Easy A could be something special. Defensively, he's sitting about 220,000 after super. If he supers double, he's sitting over the 350k mark, which I would say for the most part is not that bad. Obviously, in hindsight, you probably wish it would be a little bit more, but generally speaking, I would say it is a pretty cool and pretty, decent set of numbers, considering the time when he came out. This unit now came out originally in 2021, so he's moving on to 4 years old, which makes me wonder how long this game's been going, but also shows how long it's been since he probably needed an Easy A. So Gogeta is really cool, and I think his animations are superb. Damage wise, we're putting out some decent numbers, almost around about 5 million consistently. My Gogeta is 2 dupes, so pretty good statistically, and I think gives a good reflection of this unit at a high power. Obviously, overall, when you are building a team for him, one thing that is super interesting is he does not have Saiyan Raw. Now, for people who don't know, Saiyan Raw is kind of like the number one, I want to say, probably ability for players to have when they are trying to, build a GT Heroes or Giant Ape Power team. Saiyan Raw is just one of those incredibly crucial cards. So I think for me, it's 100% something that players do need to be mindful of. With no Saiyan Raw, there is a bit of a drop off in his performance, and also you're not going to be able to trigger that crucially good performance with a whole bunch of other units on the team. But I think overall he looks really solid. I personally think he looks great, and I think for me, what I do like the most about this unit is that he's got a pretty blank slate. So we could see something really crazy from the developers with a blank slate unit like this, with just like the raw attack and defense. And I think overall we could see something really special out of his Easy A. With that being said, his damage numbers, at least right now, obviously not anything too impressive, and I think that's just something that happens with the aging in the game. But overall, I still think he's really cool. I love his active skill, I love his performance, I love his animation, I love everything about him. I do think he is an incredibly reliable and strong unit. Yeah, I think he really is one of those units that is like, wow, this guy is an absolute machine. So yeah, for me overall, I'd have to say I think he's definitely still worth it to invest in. If you have him and you haven't really put in Kai's or anything yet, he will get that easy A, and with that blank slate, he will probably come out an absolute menace. That's just kind of how these things work. So yeah, I think ultimately for me, I'm super excited to see what happens with him. I would really love to see him get all the tools to become an absolute behemoth. But I think even looking at how he does, he's definitely below the bar in terms of raw defense and raw stats. But even if you take the kit as is, I think there's a lot of merit to him, nullification of supers and everything, which I think is obviously ultimately really great. As I mentioned before, we do not really have any links we want to focus on due to the fact that there's no Saiyan Raw. But there is GT, which is obviously very strong. There is Super Saiyan and Kamehameha, which is very common. And obviously Fierce Battle is pretty common as well. Then you're just kind of rotating between Shocking Speed, Over and Flash, and Fused Fighter to see what the other link set would be. And I think that's kind of where it is. So yeah, for me, I'd have to say, overall, I think he's really interesting. I'm not going to say he's up to scratch or anything, because very clearly he's not at today's standards. But I still think he's a really incredibly cool unit, and I am really impressed by him. That's it from me. Bye.